Right?
Evolution. Women's Wrestling. WWE. Historic moments. So much to think about. And so little number of matches. Hello there. Now I'm just a simple man. And my name is Noah Foster. And I'm here to throw my voice to my predictions at this Sunday's WWE Evolution pay-per-view. To think, we have only 7 matches? And this is supposed to be a little longer than your average Monday Night Raw, along with the kickoff. Looking at the content here, the amount of interviewers and announcers, and sure nostalgic moments to come, I don't see any match being on the kickoff show, but if there was one, it'd probably be the Battle Royale. So let's start with that. So we got 21 women in that. You really look at the breakdown. You got Raw, you got SmackDown, and then you got Legends. There's going to be some spots. There's no way. I was actually looking through the entire participant list that we currently have, and the numbers are rather interesting. Being an engineer, I like numbers. What can I say? So you have this Battle Royale made up of 9 women from SmackDown, 5 currently from Raw, 1 technically from 205 Live with Maria Kanellis, and you got 6 Legends. I feel like it's a no-brainer because I feel like Asuka has got to either A, turn heel here to win, or it's going to come down to Asuka versus Ember Moon because that reignites one of the most historic matches, in my opinion, that WWE recently put on. So with that said, I'm going to go with Asuka and hope that she does go after the SmackDown's title down the line. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So following that, we got a 6-woman tag. We got Sasha, Bayley, and Ty versus Riot Squad. If there's anybody that can go after Ronda for the Raw Women's Championship, it's got to be either Sasha Banks or Ruby Riott. That being said, I have to look at who needs it more, and I bet you it's going to be 50-50 booking. With Sasha losing on Monday, I see Sasha and her team winning, and Sasha picking up the victory. And then I see her moving on to bigger and better things. Hopefully they book her better. That's the best hope right now. So then we have the NXT Women's Championship match. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. That's got to be a show stealer, okay? Because NXT is the best thing going in WWE right now, in my opinion. Just saying. So, looking at this, Shayna took the title from Ember Moon just right around WrestleMania, and Kairi Sane won it just around SummerSlam. I don't see Kairi Sane losing the title this soon. But I don't see Shayna Baszler moving up to the main roster either, even though that would probably be the next best thing. Looking at what we have coming, and the fact that this really is a Mae Young Classic 1 Finals rematch when you think about it. It's going to have the same feeling, the same fire, and maybe even the same ring announcement with Lily Garcia, which I'm really looking forward to. Last time, Kairi Sane won. So it would dictate you would think Shayna would win, right? Well, I don't think so. I'm going to go with Kairi Sane on this one. And then we'll see what's next for Shayna Baszler. I'm sure she's not done with NXT, but I don't think they're going to flip the title this soon in Kairi's reign. Then you got well, I guess this one's really up in the air because we don't know where Alexa Bliss stands. But you got the team of Trish and Lita versus, allegedly, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. I'm going to have to give it to the Legends because chances are, according to what I've read, they're going to be around longer, and I can see these 4, technically 5, you count Alicia Fox, facing off against each other again. So with that, I'm just going to say Trish and Lita. It should be a fun match. You'll see some fun spots. Though I am intrigued to see what happens if Alexa is competing, what Alexa and Trish bring to the ring when facing off against each other. Though, more likely, we'll see nostalgia between Mickie and Trish. Hopefully not that hand gesture for WrestleMania 22. Live Clam. Good old JR. Then we have what I think should be the main event, and hopefully, I hope it is. You have the SmackDown Women's Championship Last Woman Standing match. Let me just say right now, there was one already. It was Asuka versus Nikki Cross, and that's in my top 10 of favorite women's matches in WWE, and that should be acknowledged. NXT is the reason why WWE is cool again. Considering most of the people you actually have in your main spot were from NXT. Get your act together, WWE. Then again, I guess that's Vince, but that's just me venting. Or ranting. You decide. Looking at this match, there is no way in hell Becky should lose the title. So I see this back and forth compelling match. I see Charlotte going, oh, can't beat her. And I see Becky pulling every trick in the book, not getting booed at all. Becky has got to win this match, okay? Because the way they're set up, oh, Charlotte's supposed to face round out of line, da-da-da. Becky's the most over fan in the company. She is the Stone Cold of the modern era in women's wrestling. So I'm going with my girl, the last kicker, Stone Cold Becky Lynch. And that's all I got to say about that. Finally, I just got done watching the Mae Young Classic. And for those of you who don't know, I don't like spoilers, okay? I thoroughly enjoy my favorite night of television, Wednesday nights. And tonight was incredible. I could probably talk about that in another video, but tonight I'm just going to say one of those matches I thought was actually going to be the final, but looking at the bracket, it makes sense. But my word, what an incredible showcase from Toni Storm. If that Toni Storm versus Michael Satomura match isn't a match of your candidate from WWE, it's a crime against women's wrestling. It was that good. I didn't get a chance to watch their first encounter where it was a draw on the independent scene, but I'm definitely going to do my best now to find it. With that being said, you have Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. And for those of you who don't know, Io Shirai was formerly known as Hito Kari, and she had a match in Lucha Underground, and that's really what caught my eye. Looking at both these two, the drive, the story, the determination, and seeing what could happen down the line. We already know Toni calls the UK her home. Io Shirai's in NXT. Both these two women could possibly steal the show. In fact, this is in my top 3 matches for Evolution. So with that being said, I have to go with Toni Storm for the victory. And I hope that she goes after the NXT Women's Championship. Whether it's UK or America's NXT. And I don't even know who the NXT UK Women's Champion is, but apparently it has been spoiled. But again, I don't look at spoilers. I see the heading on Twitter, I immediately skip. And then finally, you have the Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. This one's going to be interesting. I don't see this being the show stealer, but it definitely was the show hyper. Because everything, including the hype and ticket sales, was settled around this match. Now, I know a good friend that's part of the Bella Army. That's fine and dandy. I personally have always been a fan of Ronda Rousey. She has her critics, she has her supporters. Just like both women do. But then again, that's why we're fans. We're all normal people. Simple as that. With that being said, I cannot see Ronda Rousey losing the title. Now, am I saying she's winning the match? I'm gonna go with yes. Because why I don't see Nikki losing in a definitive fashion, I see a lot of shenanigans going on. Brett's probably get knocked down. We'll probably get Primo'd. But I have to go with Ronda Rousey. And we'll see what happens down the line. Honestly, I hope down the line, her next opponent will either be Ruby Riott or Sasha Banks. I see those being the top next 2 contenders. Unless Asuka turns heel and jumps ship. But then Becky won't have anything. Because right now, something needs to be done with the SmackDown's women's roster. They deserve better. So yeah, it should be a very interesting show this Sunday. Over 50 women. I actually did some deep math into this, looking into the announcers, the kickoff panel, the announce team, the single referee, and the women competing. It's actually rather interesting. She said over 50, but unless she actually shows up for a guest spot, which wouldn't surprise me, it literally is 50 women. I mean, you literally have all the competitors competing in the ring. You have the kickoff panel, you have the interview list, you have one interviewer playing as a ring announcer, and you have 2 of the kickoff panelists playing off as announcers. Let me break it down here. So we literally are looking at 39 women in ring competition. Just 39. You think about that. Okay? 39. You got 2 on commentary with Michael Cole. And let me just say this. If this does become an annual thing, I hope Renee takes the Michael Cole spot. Because I could definitely see her as lead announcer. And she is definitely one of my favorites. If not, my second most favorite, because no one beats Mauro Ranallo. But again, this is about women's wrestling and about women tonight. So I'm only going to focus on the women leading in WWE, in my opinion. But yeah, you got 39 in ring, you got 2 commentaries, you got 1 in the kickoff panel page. And you got one female referee, you got 2 red carpet correspondents, which I'm sure most of the kickoff show is going to be dedicated to, like the Hall of Fame. Again, I honestly don't see a match being on the kickoff show, and I think that's probably the best thing that could happen to this pay-per-view, considering how many matches we have. And then you have your 3 interviewers and your 2 announcers. Let me just say I'm truly happy Lillian Garcia is back. So now, just some basic points. The fact that they've had literally, like, what is it? They announced this first July 23rd, and now it's here October 28th. And they had this long to build it. I don't think they built every match as well as they could. And the biggest definition of that is the SmackDown Women's roster. I wouldn't mind seeing like some singles action between a couple of them, or maybe the newfound relationships and friendships in a fun tag team match. That could be a fun spot. I don't think you would call that nostalgia either because it features the current roster. I would have liked to see maybe Iconics face Carmella and Lana because I think that would be a lot of fun. Kind of like looking at a mixed match challenge match. And then when you figure about this is supposed to be as long as a Monday Night Raw, if not longer, I'm hoping every match does get the time they deserve and every woman does get to showcase what they truly are capable of. Because while WWE isn't the groundbreaking starter of women's wrestling by a long shot, they definitely have come a long way, considering they recently put up on their YouTube channel a 3-minute odd match from the Attitude Era, or post-Attitude Era, technically. And now you look at the matches you get now, and you get like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, the Mae Young Classic semifinals were the pure definition of that tonight. 2 incredible matches. But again, that's just my opinion. So, those are basically my brief predictions. Let me know what you think. Feel free to critique. Let's have some fun and see where we agree and disagree. We'll see how far I get the booking right and how far I'm wrong. Should be a fun pay-per-view no matter what. And I am definitely looking forward to it. And I hope it does become an annual thing. With that said, I'm Team Ronda all the way, since we know that's going to be the highlight. That's going to be talked about the entire night. And I see big things happening in NXT. And honestly, if I was fantasy booking, I could see Team Ronda versus Team Bella having a Survivor Series after this. Wouldn't surprise me if it did, because Survivor Series is supposed to go in a different direction. But with that, I'm just a simple man and a simple fan. And I have my opinions, and sometimes I rant. But I'm a lifelong WWE fan, a supporter of wrestling, both men and women. So let's have a good time, y'all. Until next time. Because I think I'm just going to focus on pay-per-views on this for now as a platform. And keep myself rather brief on Twitter. You never know when I might pop up out of nowhere with a response. Hope everyone enjoys the pay-per-view. If y'all have opinions, I would love to hear them. Heck, I would love to see them. It's fun doing this. Just be yourself and rant. And with that, I'll see you all Sunday for WWE Evolution. Have a good night.